Now it's time to chat with somebody from the final game of the divisional playoff weekend. The Los Angeles Rams at the Chicago Bears. Ladies and gentlemen, in his second year as a Los Angeles Ram, one of my favorite Michigan Wolverines of all time. Always puts a smile on my face when I see Blake Corum's smiling face on my screen. Good to see you, Blake. How are you, sir?
I'm great. You?
Good to see you, man. I just love watching you ball out. I love watching you ball out for this Rams team. How does it feel for you in year two? It feels different just watching you. I'm wondering about you, Blake.
Oh, it feels completely different. Just feel like myself, right? I feel like, I understand the scheme now. I was in it for a year. Now going to year two, I just feel more comfortable, able to play fast, build that trust with my guys. And, man, it's been a blast. This is a heck of a team.
When you say understand the scheme better and allows you to play fast, you got an example of that?
Yeah, when I was at Michigan, we were duo gap scheme, right? And we still, run that here, but here, we also run mid zone, outside zone. And so really just understanding where my blocks are going, really locking in the film and understanding, how to watch film on defenses. And so when I go into the game now, I have a good idea of, where the intent is to run. And I just feel very comfortable back there, and I'm able just to play fast. And when you play fast, you play good.
What's it like sharing the ball with Kyron Williams? What's your relationship like, you guys?
Oh, we're close, man. We really thrive off, each other's success. I love seeing him out there, make plays and then vice versa, right? And so we just feed off each other, staying fresh. It's been a great 1-2 punch this year.
And then what's it like being in the huddle with Matthew Stafford, future Hall of Famer?
Oh, man, that is great. I couldn't be in a better position than, being in the backfield with a great like Matthew Stafford. Just a great overall guy, but really just the top tier leader when you look at him, a competitor, savage. Now he's a phenomenal.
Yeah, I know you're used to winning a championship with a guy who wears number 9. What is it like? Were you in the huddle for the snatching hearts moment, Blake?
I was not in the huddle, but when I heard Devontae say that in his interview after the game, I'm like, yep, that's something I see Matthew saying, just because he's that type of competitor, and he knew we were going to win.
Yeah, and so what was your perspective then from the sideline watching that begin? That drive start.
I had no doubt, and that's just something with this team.
Sure,
right? We're so even kill throughout the whole game, whether we're up or down, whether we had to come back like we had to, but there was never no doubt, especially when you have a leader like Matthew, and then the rest of the guys, man, we're just, like I said, level headed, and we knew we were going to go down there. When we play our style of ball, hard to stop.
What's Sean McVay's message been to the team this week?
We're enough. What we've done this season, we're here for a reason. And everyone that's in this facility, on this field, coaches, players, staff, whatever it is, we're enough, to get the job done. And so really, 3 phases of football, right? Defense, special teams, offense. When we play our style of ball, we're hard to beat. And so really just doing us, man, finishing up with a good practice today, a little walkthrough tomorrow before we hit the plane, but really just being us, man, and go and have fun, bringing the energy, execution, and it's going to be a great day.
I thought you meant wear enough, as in layered clothing. I thought that's what I thought that's what you meant by.
It's going to be a little chilly, but there's a lot of guys, from the Midwest.
Yeah, I was about to say, Blake, you know what? I was saying that the other day, when, here comes, will they be able to run the ball in the cold? There's somebody who's played in some big time football games in the cold and flurries. I know that. I know one of those guys. I'm looking at him right here on the screen, right?
100%, Rich. 100%. Ain't no worried about the, how cold it may be.
Well, I mean, apparently though, it's supposed to feel like -1, Blake, and now you're a Southern California guy. We've all had our blood thinned out. I mean, what are you and the rest of the team saying about this narrative that's going around that the weather is going to put a stop to what you guys are able to do offensively, along with the Bears defense who can take the ball away, Blake?
Yeah, it's bogus. It's bogus. I do believe, the Bears team in general, I think they're a phenomenal team. But in terms of, the weather impacting this game, it's bogus. We're going there. They had to plan it just like us. Like I said, a lot of the guys that are from the Midwest, East Coast, where it gets cold. And, so we're just going to go play our style of ball, man. We're not worried about, how cold it may be, -1, whatever whatever the weather's going to be is going to be, right? And so, we just know we're going to go in there, have fun, play our style ball, and let everything else take care of it.
Okay, Puka's not going to be cold. You know what I mean? Like that. Devontae. Listen, he wore shiesty indoors to Detroit. When you were coming out of college 2 years ago, because he thought that the Lions played outdoors. Bless him. But I mean, Adams obviously has experience playing in Chicago. So does your quarterback.
100%. Hey, no worries over here. Okay. Yeah, no worries over here.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. Blake Corum here on the Rich Eisen Show. Has McVay said anything, or anybody in the locker room said anything about the way Ben Johnson has been talking about the Packers and Matt LaFleur's name being in his mouth and his introductory press conference, and his actual brother is your offensive coordinator, and Sean McVay's tight with Matt? Any conversation in the locker room noticing that back and forth at all, Blake?
No, I haven't heard any conversation about Ben Johnson, Matt and Mike. Haven't heard anything in the locker room about that. I think we're just focused on us right now.
Okay, all right. Just wanted to ask that. Damn it! I've been trying to stir that up, Blake. I'm not gonna.
Really have.
Not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so the idea that the Rams can also potentially host an NFC Championship game, like you could take the field knowing, based on the Saturday result, that you come home. Is that something that you guys have talked about, mentioned, anything of that nature, Blake?
Honestly, Rich, we haven't talked about what's next at all. I think we're totally locked in on learning from some things we can learn from our game versus the Panthers. And really just, we've been locked in all week. It's been a heck of a week of practice. So I really think we're standing where our feet are. We're being where our feet are right now in the moment. And really, getting ready, for the Bears. Good defense, great offense, with Caleb leading the way, and, preparing for Sunday night.
Okay. So then let me stray out of the lane a little bit with you. Blake Corum here on the Rich Eisen Show. Any word from back in Ann Arbor about Kyle Whittingham showing up and how things are at that ranch? Blake?
I haven't talked to anyone.
Okay.
A lot of the people, I played with are now gone.
Right.
But, I think just from what I've seen from outsiders, right, I think that's a phenomenal hire. He's the right guy for the job. So I'm super excited to see, what our Wolverines do this year. It seems like they did pretty good in transfer portal, got some talented guys in the portal. And also, you have Bryce coming back year 2. So I can't wait to see what the Wolverines do, with this offseason with, Coach Kyle. And, I think it's going to be a good show.
Yeah, I'm excited about that as well. Have you seen what Indiana's been up to? Trying to do what Team 144 did, which is, beat Ohio State, win the Big Ten championship, and go undefeated.
Yeah, I really think they're going to do it. I think, Miami may be more of a talented team, but I think Indiana as a team in general, they play hard for one another. They make very few mistakes, right? And I think they're definitely playing for that coach. And I like that coach a lot. So I think Indiana's going to get the job done, when it comes Monday. But it should be a good game.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I mean, that would make it 3 in a row for the Big Ten as well. Like, who's the SEC, right, Blake? You can look at your quarterback and go, I don't know, who's Georgia? You know what I mean? Like, you could do that sort of thing, right, Blake?
Nah, exactly. Come on, Big Ten's where is that, Rich?
It just means more you-know-what. Okay. Blake Corum here on the Rich Eisen Show. And let's talk about you a little bit here. I brought this up on the program, Blake, when you had your first career 100-yard rushing game and 2 touchdowns. I think we got a great photograph of you high-stepping your way into the end zone right there. I believe after this run, you gave Matthew Stafford the rest of the afternoon off, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That's right.
And I just remembered because, the only time I've seen you on that field with my own 2 eyes was when you were kind enough to take a picture with my son, Cooper, right there, who's now 6'2", believe it or not. But
wow.
there you are on crutches, with your knee surgically repaired, obviously your future, who knows, right, at that time on that field. Did you think about that, about how your knee was in a certain way? You couldn't play on that field when you were there as a Michigan Wolverine on that day. Obviously, it was not a day that Michigan won, but
Yeah.
now here you are on that same field, 2 touchdowns, high stepping for the Los Angeles Rams, your first 100-yard game, Blake.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I definitely thought about it. I thought about it a lot. And actually it happened again right when we played the Vikings when the fires were going on out here, and then I was injured again with the broken arm. But I definitely thought about it, right? How life works and how you have to, fight through adversity, and then at the end of adversity is success. The way I look at it, hard times, dark times, they don't last forever. As long as you keep pushing and fighting and believing. And so, that was definitely something after that game I thought of, like, dang, I've been injured twice on this field where I couldn't play in the game. And I look at God, right? My first 100-yard game, a great team win. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, I thought of that again. That who knows, right? It couldn't have been easy for you to watch your teammates warm up for a national semifinal game, and you didn't know, obviously what would happen when you returned. Although those who stay do become champions, you're actually an avatar for that sort of thing as well. But and now here you are in the National Football League, getting set to play on a divisional playoff weekend once again in the cold, trying to potentially face a division opponent for a third time. And I'm wondering how that hits you. Do you sit around and wonder about your journey at all?
Yeah, I definitely do. I sit around oftentimes and I just think about how blessed I am, right? Blessed to be in this position, blessed to have this platform, and blessed to play a game that, this is a child's game. Our running back coach, Coach G, always says, we're playing a child's game, so go have fun. And this is a game, I've been playing since 6 years old, and I've just been blessed to, be able to, reach my dreams and continue to chase my dreams, playing this game. So every time I touch the field, like I said, I look up to the sky, man. I'm blessed to be here. Let's go have fun. And so, I'm just very grateful to be in this position.
Are you one of the people that Devontae has told it doesn't get any greener in the NFL than right here with the Rams right now? Has he told that to you, Blake?
Yeah, he's said that in front of the team in an offensive meeting before, but you can see how much fun he's having this year. Obviously, last year, probably didn't have much fun in the year before that, but he's having a blast and he's contributed, so much to this team. He's added so much, fire, and he's done a phenomenal job. Just his presence, right? Having a vet in the room like him, a future Hall of Famer. It's been nothing but great.
All right, Blake, go be great. Go be great.
Appreciate that, Rich.
You do you. You do you. I'll be out there watching. In this team, from Southern California, going to Soldier Field, man. That's a pretty neat spot. That place is going to be rocking, and it'll be up to you and your teammates to quiet them.
Nah, we can't wait. We're ready for the challenge. We're ready to go, and can't wait for Sunday.
All right, Blake, you be well, and let's chat down the line. Appreciate it.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
You got it. That's Blake Corum right here. He's about to go to war for the Los Angeles Rams, right here on the Rich Eisen Show.
You want to go to war, Malaki?
There he goes.
Because we could go to war.
That's it.
I'm for real.
There you go. Taking on Sunday Night Football.
Glad to see you laughed at that.
Oh, good. He wants to go to war. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.